Hi there, welcome to the Kenny Veach Cave mystery. Today I have a very interesting article to share with you, which will be of your interest, so make sure to stick around from start to finish to truly understand. Now, we've seen articles in the past which talk about the case. I highlight the misinformation and mistakes made. I'll do that again today if necessary, but there are some very interesting quotes re-quoted. Originally from Kenny Veach in what he had to say when describing his experience with finding the cave and onwards and what he intended on doing. Now, in terms of what he was going to do on his final hike, a quote was seen on this article piece, which arguably I've never really seen before from him. I have seen it elsewhere, but to some people it wasn't enough. But for it to be re-quoted here from Kenny's original comment and response on son of an Area 51 technician, it puts things into a whole new light and perspective, and it could, depending, change how people look for Kenny Veach. So I'm going to read it out to you today. I'm going to share with you my thoughts. You can as well, if you want, leave your comments down below if you do have any questions on the case or you want to elaborate on a theory idea. Leave your thoughts down below. It will help spread awareness on this case and just to keep it alive. Welcome to those that are currently here in this live premiere. Be sure to share your thoughts, opinions, reactions in the live chat box on the right hand side of the screen, and also down below. If you do leave a comment, you'll find a pinned one by me with some additional links if you want to support this channel in alternative ways. There are things there to do so. And if you just simply want to catch up on my recent videos, such as the one last night, top right corner of the screen, click on the eye symbol and you'll be able to find it there. Very deep, very interesting discussions on other cases, true crime related. And there will be a Kenny Veach full playlist so you can catch up on all my previous videos if you are new to this channel. So with that all being said and done, let's just get straight into the video and begin reading this very interesting article. The name of the site's called hiptoro.com. Bit of a dodgy name. I don't know if it's some kind of dodgy Indian website, because I know there's like Indian stuff popping up in their names. I don't know if it's a call centre trying to infiltrate me, but nevertheless, all under control here. Managed to activate the reader mode. But if you're on the website too long, it denies you of using it because of the stupid adverts popping up on screen. You know, we've got standards here. We need to eliminate that. The name of this article reads, YouTuber Kenny Veach disappears completely after finding a strong vibration cave in Area 51. So right off the bat, this is pure BS, misinformation and poorly worded. They're calling Kenny Veach a YouTuber. To what extent, though, was Kenny Veach known for just being a YouTuber? BS. Kenny Veach was a hiker. That's what he mainly did. He uploaded videos to YouTube, but he wasn't a full-on established channel until later on when more people came along and after his disappearance, of course. So by then he could have become a YouTuber with his millions of views here, there, but he wasn't around anymore. At the time of when he went missing as a father. Okay, from Vicky Veach. He went missing as a hiker, right? He went missing as a Las Vegas resident. The reason why they use YouTuber here is technically because he's on YouTube, he's got a channel, but it sells more, okay? It stands out more. It's more relatable, right? You go on YouTube, you type in weird disappearances, top 10, top 5. It can come up with top 5 disappearances of YouTubers, and they tend to do very well. So you know what people are doing here, but if it works, it works. If it gets to your awareness, then I guess that's the case. But to say that Kenny Veach disappeared completely after finding a cave, well, it depends how you word it, right? You can come across a cave, you can find it unintentionally, but you live to tell the tale. Kenny Veach, when he first came across the cave, he returned back home safely, and then he told everyone online. Then he went back out searching for it again, could not find it, returned back safely. And then he went out one last time, supposedly, and never returned back. So there's no guarantee that Kenny Veach went missing on his final hike because he found the cave. There are many other factors at play as to why he could have disappeared and never returned. So it's poorly worded here. And to say that the cave is in Area 51, when Area 51 is 40, 50 miles kind of north away from the hiking area, is complete BS, okay? It's bad enough some people using the word Nellis Air Force Base, literally meant like that, when it's Nellis Test Range, the bombing range nearby. But to say Area 51, once again, it's desperate attention, linking one thing with another, but it doesn't actually link, but it gets the attention of people. See, this is what separates me from many humans out there. I can link one thing with another. I can use one word or one thing that will grab attention, but for the right reasons. And even when it seems controversial, there is always a link to be established, and a valid one to say the least. So it's under control here. Photo of Kenny Veach there from his M Cave hike video when he was collecting those pinion nuts, bent over and on the ground. Let's begin reading. The mysterious disappearance of YouTuber and hiker Kenny Veach continues to raise questions almost 10 years later after he vanished. The hiker reportedly discovered a hidden cave near Area 51. Incorrect misinformation. In 2014, and documented his discovery. After publishing his video on YouTube, his fans urged the 47-year-old to investigate the cave further, which resulted in his disappearance. Maybe we're skipping ahead here. Kenny found it, wasn't prepared, returned back home, told people online. People urged him to go back out there. He did. He couldn't find it, but he returned back. And then people urged him one more time. He did. He went out, didn't return. So this bit here neglects the mid-section of when he went back out the second time round, which was his recorded hike. Oh, here we go. Typical quote. We've seen this before, though. One time during one of my hikes out by Nellis Air Force Base, which would be interpreted as east of Las Vegas, which is near Frenchman Mountains, in which recent time, maybe a month ago or so now, remains were found at Frenchman Mountains, unidentified till this day, unfortunately. That's just me adding my add-on bits from previous news and recent time. Anyway, Kenny originally said, I found hidden cave, entrance to the cave, shaped like a perfect capital M, always enter every cave I find, but as I began to enter this particular cave, body began to vibrate, closer I got, entrance, the worse vibrating became, hightailed out of there, yeah. Now that photo there, I think, is actually taken from the Kenny Veach documentary by HLN, which came out November 2021, okay? When his comments started getting a lot of attention, he was encouraged by his followers to revisit the cave and document the experience. Whilst Kenny Veach was apprehensive about visiting the location, he took on the challenge to prove the trollers wrong. Responding to a comment, Kenny said, "No, I solo hike across mountaintops that most people wouldn't dare go. I've been in more caves than I can count. I play with rattlesnakes for fun, but it's one particular cave. Someday I'll go back. I'll bring a weapon." Yes. Right, so this is the thing. This article's claiming Kenny Veach was reluctant, apprehensive about going back there. What a load of bollocks. You look at his video, you look how enthusiastic he was and determined to find it, right? You see how disappointed he was in the unreleased footage afterwards on the same hike as I've analysed on my channel. If you need to check it out, make sure to do so, right? He looked so defeated, because originally he was so determined to find it. When you're determined, when you're passionate, you want to do it, okay? You're going to be less apprehensive. There might be some exceptions in the background, of course. So this article is wrong. Kenny was ready and prepared. And obviously, he wasn't apprehensive because he went out 3 times in total at least. Now, in 2014, Kenny Veach documented his hike to locate the cave, so that was his second hike, with weapons to defend himself. You say weapons. I only saw one, which was his firearm. Where is his other weapon then? The knife? Never saw it. You say, it's worded here, defend himself from mountain lions and other unknown dangers that could be present in Nevada's Mojave Desert. Interesting that when it comes to the mountain lions, as dangerous as they can be and territorial and defensive, let's just say, out of all the hikers that have gone out there since searching for Kenny M. Cave, not a single one has come across or at least recorded a mountain lion in the presence. They've heard footsteps here and there, which is a bit weird, creepy, could be linked, but they've not seen any. So that's interesting. The hiker's video has reached over 3.8 million views so far, although he was unsuccessful in finding the cave. True. When a concerned Kenny Veach follower asked if he got back safe, he replied, okay, that'll be an interesting one to read because it may have not been quoted as much. Now, first thing, what we need to highlight here. Yeah, Kenny's got over 3 million views on his video. He also has adverts on that video as well. So that could generate some form of growth in other areas. Though, it's also noted that YouTube can automatically put adverts on people's videos without their consent, whether they're monetized or not. So YouTube have got a mind of their own at times. Now, the quote by Kenny, I got back from a 10-hour hike yesterday. I completely searched the whole damned canyon. I could not relocate the cave. I found a tarantula, a tortoise, and a ram, but I could not find the cave. I don't know if you have ever climbed up and down a mountain for 10 hours, but it wore me out. All I got out of it were some nice photos and a big bag full of piñon nuts. This is the perfect time of the year to find piñon nuts. Thanks for asking. So I've not seen this quote before by Kenny Veach, just simply because it hasn't been mentioned or re-quoted by other articles out there. And the original comment thread by Kenny, wherever that was, is no longer available. Okay? Now, I just want to ask... No, do I? Yeah. So it was October time of 2014 when Kenny Veach uploaded his M Cave hike video on his channel. In terms of being time efficient, if possible, if anyone can answer me on the question I'm about to ask, that would be appreciated. Is it possible? Did it happen? Did Kenny Veach leave any comments on his M Cave hike video on his YouTube channel back in 2014? Because the video was uploaded in October, Kenny Veach went missing in November, right? So there's time difference between them. Did Kenny Veach leave any comments? Besides Son of an Area 51 Technician, that video elsewhere, did Kenny leave any comments on his own channel, on his own videos? It's hard to tell because as the years have gone on, there are so many comments on his videos that it's hard to find his original responses, if there are any. If anyone has seen those responses by Kenny, maybe it's worth analysing. And is there a particular way of being able to find Kenny Veach's comments and activity on his own channel page and filter it through all the other unnecessary comments by the general public? If that's possible, let me know. Subheading: how did Kenny Veach disappear? Even though Kenny Veach posted a video showing how he was unable to locate the M Cave despite his best effort, he was adamant about proving himself right. Kenny was actively responding to queries and trolls under Serious Disclosure's comment section. He stated that he would try to find a cave again and venture on a 3-day hike, he wrote. So this is on Son of an Area 51 Technician, right? I'm going again this week. I'll be hiking solo for 3 days. I plan on covering about 40 miles. I will cross through the same canyon where I find the cave. If I don't find it again, I'll just continue hiking over the mountain after mountain to the north of the canyon. This is quite important because we may have seen this quote already, okay, from the text message of Hunter Veach and Kenny Veach. You remember when he said he would go north about 45 miles? Well, look how it's worded here. It wasn't the first time Kenny Veach said he was going to do that. Is it worth taking it into mind? I think this is pretty important, right? Maybe we do a separate video on this. This, what's quoted here, is from Son of an Area 51 Technician, okay, that video. I'm unable to look at the original comments because they were deleted. Kenny's traces were deleted over there. Very disappointing, but at least these articles and websites have managed to get a hold of the original quotes. But some of these articles, which are more new compared to the past, how did they find these quotes then? If the original comment was deleted, where did they find them? That's what I'm interested in. So you take this as a hint or a clue. Okay, Kenny supposedly went to the mine shaft because that's where his phone and loose change was found. Where did he go from there? Did he track back the way he came in the first place, double back on himself? Or did he actually go further on? So the only thing I find interesting here is Kenny said, I'll be going solo for 3 days. But it was described by Sharon Pilgrim that Kenny Veach was going for an overnight stay, 2 days at least, not 3 days. That's what I can't quite understand. And Kenny said, I plan on covering about 40 miles. What? That just seems weird. Because how it was worded elsewhere by Kenny, if I don't find the M cave within the area, the hike, I'll then go on 45 miles. That's weird. If I don't find a cave, find it again, I'll just continue hiking over. And maybe it was just worded a bit differently here. So Kenny's original plan for his final hike before going missing was to go 40 miles. That's what he had in mind to begin with. How on earth could Kenny Veach go 40 miles if he did 11 miles and he was completely knackered, tired, exhausted, couldn't swallow? We saw that, didn't we? The state he was in when he did that. What makes him think he can do 40 miles out there and go north and just casually hike over mountain after mountain? This is weird. This is very weird. Let me be honest with you. I may have seen this way back in the past, but it would have been way back then. I can't remember this on screen. So this is quite interesting in my opinion. I did screenshot it, so I can always refer back. Now, it says, he also added that during his numerous hikes, he has entered a lot of caves, but none feared him as much as the M cave did. There's no guarantee that I'll find a cave again. The region that I cover is vast. There are many caves. I've been in hundreds of them. The M cave is the only cave I've ever feared going inside. I really want to find it again. Right. So, if Kenny Veach is an expert or he's hiked out there and he's got a lot of experience and he just simply says, well, there's no guarantee that I'll find it again, that's not exactly hopeful, because he went out that second time almost, well, somewhat confident, to an extent, of course, that he could be able to find it. Yeah, it didn't work. But then again, I guess if it's his final hike out there after the less unsuccessful one, there's not much hope, is there? So your expectations may drop. But to be saying that the region that I cover is vast and there's many caves, how can there be? If you're speaking about Joe May Canyon, see, this is the problem with Kenny Veach. He didn't give a specific named location where he hiked in the past. He didn't say, when I went down Joe May Canyon or Pitcher Canyon, that's where I found the cave. So that's why I'm heading back out there. He never mentioned that, did he? You get what I'm saying? The only description he gave was he found the cave near Nellis Air Force Base. Well, how much land does that actually cover? Right? If you was to narrow it down to a cave near Nellis Air Force Base, what caves are near Nellis Air Force Base? Because when you look at it on the maps, it becomes flatter ground, doesn't it? And then you've got the perimeter, the military border, that if you do cross over that, then you get in trouble. So that's west. This is weird. This is really weird. I'm going to screenshot this once again. I'll definitely need to look at this at some point. It's weird. Now, interestingly, a commenter named Lemmy Kilmister had warned Kenny not to visit the cave again. So that's like a troll account at the time. Quoted, no, don't go back there. If you find that cave entrance, don't go in. If you do, you won't get out. And of course, in recent time, we've seen the odd troll again. Pathetic humans, but it is where it is. Kenny replied to Lemmy asking, what makes you say that? No one heard from the hiker after he ventured on his 40-mile hike. See, this is what I mean. At first, or originally, I never knew that Kenny was planning or intending on doing a 40-mile hike. And to be honest, that was Kenny's original idea. So basically, he does what? The original hike is what he did in the second one, his recorded video. What? He does the full-on loop. And then if he can't find it, he then just goes north the same way he went originally. It just seems a bit weird because you can do 40 miles, right? In maybe kind of a straight direction. And you cover a lot of distance on foot from where you started at. Or you could go round and round in circles. You know, if it was like 10 miles, let's just say, I know it's about 11, but if we just round it down so it's easier to understand. If it took a few hours, well, what was it, 10, 11 hours to do something like a 10-mile hike, depending if you're not messing about. You got Joe May Canyon, Wild Horse Pass, then down Pitcher Canyon, loop all the way back to Joe May Road. Repeat that, what, 4 times? That's 40 miles. Have you got any further? No. You've just gone round and round in circles, in a way. But Kenny did say he was planning on going north. So you could argue and say, well, Kenny obviously didn't find the cave because the area where all the hikers have searched after have not found it either. So likely Kenny went north, 40 miles onwards. Has that area been searched 40 miles onwards? No. And the other question would be, if Kenny was to go 40 miles north, why would he even bother going north? Right? Either the M cave is here or it's not. For you to then say, if I don't find it, I'll just go 40 miles north, is that because you think that's the direction you'll find the M cave? Or is that, oh, I've changed my mind now, I can't be bothered with the cave, I'll just go 40 miles north just to see what else I can explore and find? It's weird. It is weird, this. Anything else? No one heard from the hiker? Yeah, okay. Under his famous M Cave video, there was a comment from Sharon Pilgrim, the girlfriend, who claimed to be Veach's girlfriend, ex. She informed his followers of Kenny's disappearance via the comment section. Yeah, we've seen all that before, right? Let's just see. Many of the hikes, yeah, November 10th, today's December 10th, did not return. Yeah, did not want to leave this. Okay, yeah, we've seen all that. According to News 3 Las Vegas, Kenny's phone was found near a mineshaft cave. Red Rock Search and Rescue Commander Dave Cummings told the outlet. Found his cell phone close to a very vertical old mineshaft, and we can't find another trail because the scent ended. Doesn't mean that he's down the mineshaft, but we have tracked him as far as we can. We're having our other crews come in. Okay. We've seen this photo before. I don't think it's to do with the area. But Jeff Claw did highlight that this came from Godlike Productions, a part of a common thread to do with the Kenny Veach case. So maybe that's where people got it from, saw it online when they typed in Kenny Veach and assumed that it was linked. The search was completed and Kenny was never found, reportedly. There were cameras sent down mineshaft, but nothing was found. Yeah. So based on reading that, especially those quotes by Kenny originally, it makes you think, is this a new direction to be looking in and searching at? I mean, if Kenny Veach couldn't find the supposed M cave around Joe May Canyon, Pitcher Canyon Sheep Range, roughly speaking, and on top, all the other hikers and searchers with time have not been able to find a single cave that is explorable, nor an M-shaped explorable cave. Maybe it's not even in the area. Maybe it is north. Maybe it is miles and miles away. And you could say, how could Kenny Veach get so mixed up then, right? There's a difference between hiking around Joe May Canyon, doing the loop hike route and covering, what, 10 or so miles, and then simply going north for 40 miles. 2 different locations, a great distance between both. How could you honestly get mixed up as to where the cave is really located at, unless he was trying to cause misdirection, throw people off? As Kenny described it, he vaguely worded it as the desert in general. It's vast. Well, in terms of where hikers and people have been searching, as for the original hike, which Kenny did, it's not vast. I mean, 10 miles is still a great deal. and the terrain and environment is pretty extreme. But it's not vast. Normally, when you talk about vast, you're talking about pure sheer distance of what's ahead and onwards. In terms of this original hike route, you went onwards north, you went over Wild Horse Pass, then you turned around and then begun the loop back. A fair bit of distance, but not vast, okay? If you keep on going north and onwards, then you can say it's vast. If you're going up a peak and looking at the distance ahead, not all the way around back to where you are, but just straight ahead, you say it's vast, right? Because of what lies ahead and beyond. And that would tie in with Kenny Veach's description of where the cave is at. It's vast, it's beyond. The news articles claim it's near Area 51, the cave. Kenny Veach never said that, so that's misinformation. But Kenny did say it's near Nellis Air Force Base. Now, Nellis Test Range, the bombing range, and the military land in general near the hike loop route can cover a fair bit of distance. I can't remember how much mileage, but the military do own quite a fair bit of land out there. So if there's a cave supposedly near to that area in which the M cave was found by Kenny, then based on the map, it does get to flatter ground there. And it's away from the hike loop. So it depends where you exactly went in. Because, of course, saying a cave is near to a military base can be very vague because we're about the perimeter of the base. Kenny Veach never said, I found the cave down Joe May Canyon or down Pitcher Canyon. That's unfortunate. It's a shame Kenny Veach didn't make more references to named locations, specifically to do with the cave location itself. Would have made it maybe a lot more easier to narrow down, right? Because there's always that very small chance that Kenny Veach, where he was hiking, was in the complete wrong area and he just randomly did it for whatever reason. And it could be somewhere else, the cave. It doesn't help though, does it? Because elsewhere and around the world in different states in the US, there will be M-shaped caves. Maybe not as frequent as other shaped or random shaped caves, but there will be many more out there. So when you apply it to a wider, broader scale as to where the cave could be, the Nevada desert in general, that's vast, that's big, right? If you're being vague, just like how Kenny Veach described. So we'll see what happens next. Let me know your thoughts down below. Were you intrigued by this article, by some of the quotes of Kenny Veach? Do you think it's required for a follow-up video in the future to maybe consider some kind of map analysis and focus north? I guess time will tell. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye, good night for now.